Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, I recently sat down with my kids and I told them, kids, if there's one thing that I've learned in all my years, it's that I'm older than you. Today, we're taking a look at Space Empires 4X Replicators. Now, this is from GMT Games. This is the second expansion that came out for it. And I think this one came out a couple years ago, if I remember correctly. All right, but this here is the second printing. Okay. Now, this is going to add a lot of different stuff to the game. This is going to add, there's some replicators it's adding to it. It's going to add some terrain tiles. We got a resource deck that can be used like an event deck, but you're also going to get some new ships, new terrain, and everything else. And it's just, well, you know, more goodness for Space Empires 4X. And then it's already a monster game. So I tell you what, let's go down to the table. Let's open this up and let's see what's on the inside. All right, folks, here we go. We got Space Empires 4X Replicators expansion by GMT Games. Now, this one here is the second printing, and the designer is Jim Crone. All right, and as you can see, expansion number 2. All right, so on the back, what are we going to get? Now, this thing kind of changes some stuff up a little bit from what it looks like to me. We're going to get some replicators. It's completely different than the normal Empire. All right, we're going to have terrain tiles, resource deck. It's going to just be, you know what? I'm excited to see what it is. I've looked at the other expansion and the core game. I'm excited to see what is inside of this one here as well. Okay. And, you know, as always, I have to say, I still haven't played Space Empires 4X. Of course, we got that one in with all the expansions. So I'm definitely going to be getting that one played before we start playing all of these expansions. I got to know how the base game plays before I can add anything else to it, because it looks like there's just a lot to the game, and I want to make sure I really understand it. So let's get this thing opened up. Now, first thing we're going to get up on top is we're going to get a rule book and see nothing on the back of the rule book, and we're looking at about 26 pages, 27 pages. Now, according to the back, the box is saying is everything different, so we'll have to figure out what all we have. So we have our introduction. Over here, we got rules, changes, and clarifications. So rules that are changing in Space Empires version 1.1, rules that changed from 1.1 and 1.2, rules that are changing in Close Encounters. Wow. Rule classifications for Space Empires version 1.1 and 1.1 and 1.2. Holy moly. And rule clarifications for Close Encounters. That is, and it continues on through here. So definitely want to know how to play the other games so you can understand what the rules changes are, and that's probably going to help you out in this a lot, is going to be my guess. So we got advanced construction. Tell you what, though, I'm excited to see how they're incorporating tiles and everything to this game rather than just the black map. All right, looks like here's all of the different cards. It looks like just kind of go through all of the different cards and kind of talk about them is what this looks like, which is actually really nice. I like to get that information. Movement colonization. We got some research. The replicator empire advantages. Balancing. Interesting. Okay, now we got some scenarios in the back. So we're 18 pages. 16 pages in is going to be our rules, and then the scenarios is going to be here. So I'm taking it, yeah, no additional scenario book. So we got 11 scenarios using the Space Empires map, or 11 is scenarios using the Space Empires map. Scenarios using the Talon map. Okay, curious to see what that is. Now here's our sequence of play during combat and movement. Replicator Solitaire. So, all right, you know, and you can just tell, well, I tell you what, for the designer of this game, Jim Crone, this has got to be a labor of love for him. He just keeps putting out so much good stuff for this game, and it's just got such a huge following. All right, so here's our replicators and production sheet, our no research centers, and this is going to be our research center. So it looks like this is the same thing we've been getting in our the other game and expansion. So they're just going to get you some more sheets, and then here you're going to get your. Although this is the replicators. So the replicators one's actually going to be new for this one, so it's going to be an addition too. Blah, I misspoke, sorry. And our replicators production sheet. All right, and what's on the back of this one here? Oh, more replicator production sheets on the back of that one. And I know on the back of these other ones, yeah, it's a ship technology, so I verified that. Okay, and we're going to get another board. All right, we saw some of those in the first expansion. All right, here's our Space Empires replicators ship chart. All right, take just kind of quick glance at that. I don't know if you guys can see that. I mean, this text, got a little glare in there. This text is so tiny that, wow. I have a hard time reading it. But we're going to get 4 of those, just like all the other ones. Now, we have a bag to start to pop itself up. So here's our replicator, sheet 1 front. All right, take a look at those. And then we'll flip it over, and there's what the back's going to look like. Okay. Be interesting to see how this plays out. There's our second sheet and the back of those. I was actually expecting these hexes, for some reason, don't ask me why, I was expecting these hexes to be a little bit bigger. But there's a lot of them, so I'm glad they're a little smaller. The black holes, man, there's some cool artwork in this, I'll tell you that. There's some really cool artwork in this game to me. Man, there's a lot of these sheets too. Okay, so what do we got? Nebulas and some more asteroids. We just got black space. Some warp points. A fold in space. Let's see, Cobalt. More asteroids. A supernova. We got Gath. Now, looks like we're going to get some more tokens for all the different factions. Your different colors. Oops, upside down. See if we get that in there for you. All right, and purple replicators. And there's going to be that token sheet as well. And there's the back. Okay, wow, a lot of tokens and everything in this one. All right, in the same basic insert we see in the other ones, we got some Ziploc bags so we can baggy everything up when we're done. And the little cards and the insert, the covering that I cannot seem to get open. All right, so let's get this pried open here. All righty, now what do we have in the back? So we're gonna have some resource cards for the replicators. All right, so there's our resource cards. We're gonna have some Empire Advantage deck. Another Empire Advantage deck. Oh, this is for the replicators. This is your Close Encounters and your Alien Technology deck. So this is gonna be for, I'm guessing, for expansion 1. Okay, so we'll just show you these ones real fast. Pause if you want to take a look at these a little bit closer if you haven't already seen them. Our warp gates, advanced research, and our replicator capital. Very nice. Okay, let's just put those down in the bottom. And this is going to be all of the resource cards for the replicators. Red Squadron. Red Squadron, Red Force, standing by. All right. Some self-destruct. Concealed minefield, that's just mean. Interesting. You know, if I knew what half this stuff meant, that would mean a lot. Nice little laser there. Defendant, familiar terrain. Replicator effect, extra move. Overlord weapons. Okay. Well, that's about half of the deck right there. Spy on board. We got a couple of that one. Provide cover. I was going to say, I think that's one of another second one. There hasn't been that many duplicates that I've really noticed so far. But planetary bombardment, update your charts, play dead. Well, when you have to, you have to. Hidden power, look at all those balloons, man, that's cool. All right, your sanctions, your coup, retreat when engaged, don't retreat, minerals, and splash damage. And there you go. And that is all of those cards. Okay, so let's get this back in here. Let's get all this other stuff back in here. And that should actually hold that deck tight down in there, so it should not go anywhere until I can get it put into a bag, because I know you don't want to watch me put all that into a bag. All right, let's get all those back in there and a rule book on top, and here we go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is SpaceX, or Space Empires 4X Replicators expansion from GMT Games. You know, it's more of the same. The game just keeps, the more this stuff I look at, the better this game looks. And I'll tell you what, I cannot wait to get this one to the table. The more I look at the stuff for this game, the more I want to play this game. So let's head back up top and let's close this out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That is Replicators, the expansion to Space Empires 4X from GMT Games. And I'll tell you, this one looks really interesting. I still haven't played Space Empires 4X. That is on the docket to get done. I cannot wait to get that one to the table and finally play it. But from everything I've seen inside this game, it looks like it's just going to be that much better of a game. And everything I've heard of Space Empires 4X is a phenomenal game. Now the replicators, it just kind of adds the machines to the game. What is it? The replicators, the von Neumann machines, self-replicating machines. But the whole idea of the replicators in this game, to me, just sounds absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to see how this plays out. Super excited to give this one a try. Well, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we please ask you to like this video on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on Facebook, and also on X. Please leave us a comment on any one of those platforms, and we'll get to those comments just as soon as we can. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet and you like our content, we humbly ask you to click on the subscription button, join our little family, and even click on the bell and be notified when we drop new videos. And if you like the content that I provide here, I also do post videos on my own channel. I'll do reviews, unboxings, and some playthroughs over there. There'll be a link to my channel in the details below. And also, if you like this content that we provide you here, we humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. So I hear sandwich sales are up in the capital of India. I guess there's a New Delhi.